Today, we come together to process something deeply painful: the heartbreaking news of the passing of Robert Jr., the son of Mary Cosby, a well-known personality in the reality television world. For many people who have followed Mary's journey on screen, this loss has hit like a tidal wave: unexpected, devastating, and profoundly sad. Even finding the words to describe what this moment feels like is difficult. Grief doesn't follow logic or timing, and when it strikes, it shakes us to our core. For Mary Cosby and her loved ones, this must be one of the hardest moments of their lives. Losing a child is a pain no parent should ever have to endure, and the shock of it, especially when the details aren't yet clear, only makes it harder to grasp. We are left holding space between what we know and what we don't, and that uncertainty can feel heavy, confusing, and emotionally raw. When we don't have answers, our minds naturally search for them. We try to make sense of the situation. We imagine what happened. We think about what could have been done differently, and we wonder why. But in situations like this, it's important to remember something that's easy to forget in moments of shock: lack of clarity doesn't mean lack of meaning. It simply means that the full story hasn't unfolded yet. For a family already dealing with unimaginable grief, that waiting, that not knowing adds another layer of emotional weight. The mind can wander to all sorts of places when it's trying to fill in gaps. But while we may not have all the facts, what is clear is this: Robert Jr. mattered. His life mattered, and the impact of his passing is far-reaching. Even for those of us who didn't know him personally, watching Robert Jr. on reality TV allowed us to see parts of him: his personality, his struggles, his presence, and his humanity. Reality TV often shows moments of real life, and in observing those moments, many people came to feel that they knew him, at least in some way. His journey wasn't just something on a screen, it was something we witnessed, and in witnessing it, many of us came to care. This is why his passing feels personal to so many people. It doesn't matter whether you met him in real life, or saw him on a television screen. When a life that has been visible to the world ends unexpectedly, it ripples outward. It touches people in surprising ways. It reminds us of our own vulnerabilities. It reminds us of love, loss, fragility, and the deep connections we form even with those we may never meet in person. The outpouring of love and support for Mary Cosby and her family has been immediate and overwhelming. Messages of condolences, shared memories, heartfelt tributes, and prayers are being sent from all directions. It's a testament to how much Robert Jr.'s life touched others directly or indirectly, and how many people are grieving alongside his family. The absence of complete information about what happened to Robert Jr. is hard for everyone. We search for details because it helps us make sense of loss. We want context so we can process our emotions. But what's crucial to remember is this: the absence of information doesn't minimize the significance of his life. It simply means that right now, the focus is on honoring his memory and supporting those closest to him. For anyone watching this unfold, it's a stark reminder of how unpredictable life can be. Life doesn't follow a script. It doesn't always make sense. It can shift in an instant. And when those shifts involve someone who has grown up in the public eye, the emotional impact can feel amplified, because we carry a sense of familiarity even if it's from afar. Those who watched Mary Cosby and her family on television saw more than just entertainment. They saw human stories, moments of vulnerability, strength, struggle, and honesty. And through those stories, Robert Jr. became part of a larger narrative that many people cared about. His presence was part of what made those stories real, relatable, and meaningful. In times like this, words often feel inadequate. They can't fully capture the depth of emotion that comes with losing someone, especially someone so young. But words can still hold power. They can convey empathy. They can bring people together in shared humanity. They can honor a life that mattered. One voice that stood out in the midst of this collective sorrow was that of Andy Cohen, a familiar figure in many of our lives through his work on Watch What Happens Live, and his connection to the reality TV community. Andy took to social media to share a message about Robert Jr.'s passing, and his words resonated deeply with many. Andy expressed his sincere condolences to Mary Cosby and her family, highlighting the profound impact that Robert Jr. had on the people who knew him, and the larger community, who watched his life unfold in the public eye. What struck people most about Andy's message was its authenticity, not just sympathy, but real, heartfelt sadness. Andy has spent his career connecting people, fostering conversations, and creating spaces where stories are shared. He understands the power of community, and in his message, he leaned into that understanding. He acknowledged the pain of loss, the fragility of life, and the overwhelming love that surrounds a family in their darkest moments. What Andy emphasized in his tribute was something deeply human and timeless. In moments of grief, it is the love we hold and the memories we cherish that sustain us. He reminded us that when life feels heavy and confusing, the connections we make, the people we love, the moments we shared become anchors. They offer a way to hold on when the world feels like it's unraveling. Andy didn't just offer condolences. He offered recognition of Robert Jr.'s life, its meaning, its presence, and its impact. He spoke not only to Mary Cosby and her family, but to all of us who are grieving, reflecting, and trying to make sense of something deeply painful. This emphasis on love and support is particularly important because grief is not a solitary experience. Even though each person feels it in their own way, grief connects us. It reminds us that we are human, that we care, that we hurt, that we love deeply, and that we feel loss intensely. For Mary Cosby, this period is undoubtedly one of the hardest chapters of her life. Losing a child is a type of sorrow that defies explanation. It goes beyond words, beyond comfort, beyond time. And for those around her family, friends, colleagues, fans, the desire to offer solace is strong. People are expressing that desire through messages, through posts, through tributes, and through shared memories. For the many who followed Robert Jr. over the years, his presence was a reminder of life's complexity. He was more than just a television figure. He was a young person navigating life, facing challenges, and experiencing moments that many of us could relate to. Watching someone grow up even from a distance creates a sense of connection, familiarity, and emotional investment. And so, when we hear of his passing, it feels as though we've lost someone we cared about. Even though we did not know him personally, his life was part of the cultural fabric we engaged with. His story, his presence, his experiences, they were visible to us, and through that visibility, we formed an emotional connection. That connection is real, it is valid, and it is part of the reason why so many people are grieving. It is also part of the reason why the outpouring of support for Mary Cosby and her family has been so profound. People are not just reacting to the news, they are responding from the heart. In reflecting on Robert Jr.'s life, it is important to focus on what he represented as a person and as an individual. He was more than headlines or television screens. He was a son. He was someone's child. He was a young life with relationships, experiences, hopes, and struggles. And while the world may remember him in certain ways, his family remembers him wholly, every moment, every smile, every word unspoken. As we consider all of this, we must also acknowledge the importance of compassion. When someone experiences loss, compassion is like a bridge connecting hearts. It lets individuals feel seen, supported, and less alone in their grief. Whether through a message, a shared memory, a prayer, or simply holding space for someone's pain, compassion becomes an act of healing. Andy Cohen's message reminded us of this, that love and support matter deeply in moments of hardship. And it reminded us that while we may be grieving from a distance, our empathy has meaning. It contributes to a collective sense of care that reaches those who are grieving most intensely. In the wake of this news, many people are sharing their condolences, their thoughts, and their reflections. Some are sharing favorite memories. Some are posting messages of support. Some are simply holding space in silence, allowing others to grieve in their own way. And that is an important aspect of collective mourning, the ability to acknowledge loss together, to reflect, to express gratitude for the life that was lived, and to honor that life with words, memories, and compassion. As we look back on Robert Jr.'s life, on the impact he had, on the moments we shared with him through television, on the ways in which he connected with others, it becomes clear that his presence was more than a fleeting moment. It was real, it was felt, and it mattered. Though his passing is sad, the memories that remain carry a lasting significance. They remind us of the connections we form, the love we feel, and the ways in which human lives touch one another, even through screens and stories. So to Mary Cosby, and to all who loved Robert Jr., our hearts are with you. In times of sorrow, may you find strength. In moments of reflection, may you find comfort. And in the memories you shared, may you find peace. For everyone watching this tribute, take a moment to reflect on the value of life, the importance of compassion, and the power of love, both in times of joy and in moments of grief. If you'd like to share your thoughts and condolences for Mary Cosby and her family, feel free to leave a comment below. Thank you for watching, and for honoring the memory of Robert Jr. with us. Thanks for the watching, and subscribe.